Hey guys, so obviously this was not planned for this video. I didn't want to do a podcast style, but the editing software, the editing website that I normally use, some problems have occurred, and yeah, been forced to keep postponing this video. And with few days left for the season start, I figured we're just gonna do it podcast style. Okay, I'm gonna try to cram this up as fast as I can. So here are my 2022 Formula One season predictions. So start off with our hot takes, followed by the drivers and constructors championship, and lastly we will end the video with the 2023 predicted drivers lineup. Okay, obviously predictions were done I think in January, late January, but recently Nikita Mazepin has been kicked out, K-Max came in, so yep, there's gonna be some changes here and there. So we'll begin with my first hot take, and since January till now, March 15th, 16th I think, I've obviously had some additional hot takes mine, so let's just begin. So my first hot takes, I think Lance Stroll will be the one to get Aston Martin's first victory, and he will get it this season round. Secondly, this is a crazy one, I think one of either Haas, Williams or Alfa Romeo will get a win this season. It's really out there, but I do think genuinely that either Haas, Williams or Alfa Romeo might just snatch a shocking win. Okay, so now we go to the ones that I've written down. Firstly, I think George Russell will comfortably beat Sir Lewis Hamilton. It's just the way he so convincingly overperformed compared to Bottas. I think that was just so impressive. 2022 Bahrain Grand Prix, finished 8th, but obviously if those screw ups did not happen, without a doubt George Russell would have won in Bahrain 2020. So I think George Russell will comfortably beat Sir Lewis Hamilton this season. Moving on to the next prediction, I think Lewis Hamilton will confirm his retirement, but not for this season. It's going to be 2023. I think he's going to put a statement out somewhere this year that next season will be his last season in Formula One. Moving on to my third prediction, it's an interesting one. I put Esteban Ocon to get a second win this season. Back then, obviously, before the testing or whatnot, the hype behind Alpine was quite massive. But yeah, I'm still gonna put it out there, Esteban Ocon to get his second win this season around. My fifth prediction. This is a prediction that I actually like a lot. I think we will get more than 6 different race winners this time around, and that would be the most in history, if I'm not mistaken. I think the current record is 6, and I think we're going to be getting more than 6 drivers who get race wins this season. Next up, I have George Russell to get his first win in Miami. Why? I don't know, I just feel like George Russell will get his first win in Miami. Sixth, this is again, now when I look at it, it's an interesting decision I made, but I put Lando Norris to win at Silverstone. Maybe his first win, but I do think Lando Norris will give the dub at Silverstone, his home race. Obviously that would mean he beats both Lewis and George. Fair play, Lando, if that happens. Again, this is another interesting prediction that I have. I put Carlos Sainz to lead the championship going into the summer break. I am very convinced still that is going to be the case, and yeah. In 8th place, here is another one that I think is almost definitely going to happen. I think things are going to start to heat up between both of those Ferrari drivers. It's not going to be all rainbows and sunshines anymore. Yeah, things are going to get spicy this season around. And in 9th place, this is again another interesting one. In 9th place, I am predicting that in the final race of the season, we are going to have 3 drivers in contention for the Drivers' Championship. Similar to was it 2009, 2000? I think it was 2010. Seb's first season. I think it's gonna be similar to that. You're gonna get 3 drivers contesting for the championship, and yeah, who are those 3 gonna be? We'll find out soon. We will find out soon. And this is 10th place. Now looking back at, I mean, this is the last prediction for the hot takes that I have. Now looking back at it, I'm not so certain anymore, but I put Gunther Steiner get fired. Is it gonna happen now? I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, it is what it is. So moving on to the Drivers' Championship now. Obviously Mazepin's out, so he's now going to be 20th place. So in 20th place, that moves Zhou Guanyu to 20th. He's a rookie. I don't think the Alfa Romeo is going to have a really good package. And yeah, sorry Zhou Guanyu, you're in 20th place. In 19th I have Mick Schumacher. Again, Haas has set up some pretty high expectations from testing, but I'm sticking with the predictions that I've done, and Mick Schumacher is going to finish 19th based on my predictions, but I do predict that he'll probably get points this season around. So yeah, that moves 18th place. We put Nicholas Latifi. Again, Williams. I think Nicholas is actually going to very much underperform in that Williams car. I think that Williams car is going to be a decent midfield car, probably contending for the lower half of the midfield, but I think he's going to definitely underperform this season. Nicholas Latifi moving to 17th place here, so I'm going to put K-Mag. I think he's going to have a good season. He seems pretty motivated, and yeah, I think K-Mag should get 17th place in the Haas. Here's where things get a bit interesting. In 16th place, I put Yuki Tsunoda. I don't think it's going to be a good season for Yuki. I think it's going to be very similar to last season. I think it's going to underperform even more compared to last season. I love Yuki, I love the kid, but yeah, I don't think it's going to be a good season for Yuki. Moving up to 15th place, I have Valtteri Bottas. Again, I don't expect much from Alfa Romeo, so yep, Valtteri, I'm sorry, 15th is as high as I'm going to put you. In 14th, I'm going to put Alex Albon. Like I said, I think Williams is going to be competing at the the lower end of the midfield, I guess. But yeah, I think Alex Albon to finish in 14th position. In 13th and in 12th, okay, in 12th I have Sebastian Vettel. In 13th I have Lance Stroll. Again, I don't want to get my hopes too high up for Aston Martin. Obviously, being a Seb fan, was somewhat disappointed last season. So yeah, 12 and 13, I'm putting both the Aston Martins. In 11th place, I've got Pierre Gasly. Again, I think he's going to maximize the absolute living shit out of that AlphaTauri, and Pierre is going to get 11th based on my predictions. In 10th place, I have Fernando Alonso. Again, this is assuming the Alpine package is good. Am I confident that it's going to get 10th now? I'm not really sure, but yeah. Fernando really impressed me last season, and yeah, Fernando Alonso in 10th place. 9th place, I've got, I guess this is a bit of a shocker now, considering testing has already gone by. I've actually put Sergio Perez in 9th place. I think the Red Bull is not going to be as good as many people are thinking it's going to be, and I think Sergio Perez especially is really going to struggle. He's going to have a similar season to Daniel Ricciardo last year. And yeah, I think Perez in 9th position. Moving to 8th, I have Esteban Ocon. Like I said, I think he might get a race win. I think Esteban is slowly but surely improving, and 8th place, I think that's a decent place for Esteban. In 7th, I put Danny Rick. Again, I think McLaren is going to be easily topping the midfield this season. And yeah, Danny Rick, I think he will have a better season compared to last season. And yeah, in 6th place, I have his teammate Lando Norris. Nothing much to say. I think Norris is definitely an exciting young prospect, and his time will come. His time will come where he's going to be in the top 3s, but it's just not time yet for Lando Norris. In 5th place, another shocker. I mean, based on the previous reports with previous prediction for my other Red Bull driver in fifth, I actually put Max Verstappen. I think the Red Bull is going to be very disappointing. And yeah, Max Verstappen, world drivers champion of 2021. Based on me, he's going to get 5th place. Yeah, I do think that I might have messed that up now, but I'm not going to change my predictions. I made these predictions I think 2 months back, and I'm going to stick with it. 4th place, I have Carlos Sainz. Like I said, I do think that Carlos will be leading the championship going into the summer break, but I think he's going to end up in 4th position. Another fun fact about Carlos Sainz is, I think, besides the driver that I have put in number 1 position, if that driver does not win the championship, I'm predicting Carlos Sainz to actually win it. So Carlos Sainz is actually my second in my head, even though it doesn't technically make sense, but in my head I think it's between the driver that I put in first and Carlos Sainz for this year's World Drivers' Championship. And yeah, that place now I have Sir Lewis Hamilton. Listen, you know, Lewis is Lewis, you know, he's a great driver, but I think it's going to be a big drop off from last season. Everyone is expecting him to come back even stronger. You know, he's 37, I think, and I think we are going to start to see a drop off of Sir Lewis Hamilton. Moving on to 2nd place, I have Charles Leclerc in 2nd. I'm not kidding you. Look, everybody seems to be predicting Charles to be this season's World Drivers' Championship winner. I just feel like Charles is such a bottler, and I don't mean to be rude. Charles is a bottler. He's bottled multiple things in Formula 1, in my opinion. He has a great backstory. I love the backstory, you know. The godson of Joe Bianchi, and you know, especially with his father as well, you know. And look, I rate Charles, I do, but I just don't think it's his time. I think he needs to take the L in the championship, and that's where he really gets fired up. And yeah, maybe 2023 will be his season, but I don't think 2022 is going to be Charles Leclerc's season. And yeah, like I said, if there's going to be a Ferrari driver that wins this season's championship, it is going to be Carlos Sainz, in my opinion. It's not going to be Charles Leclerc. But yeah, I have to still put Charles Leclerc in 2nd place, because in 1st place I've gone with George Russell. Look, I think it's going to happen, especially if Mercedes deliver a good package. George Russell is going to be your World Championship leader. I mean, your World Championship winner. And I'm not a George Russell fan, but I don't know. I'm just pretty convinced by it. I think it's either going to be George or Carlos, but part of me seems to be, you know, it's going to be another season of Mercedes domination. Not as dominant as some of the other years, but they will win it. I think Mercedes will rack up both drivers and Constructors' Championship. So quickly going through my Constructors' Championship. 1st place Mercedes, 2nd I've got Ferrari, in 3rd I put McLaren ahead of Red Bull, in 5th I've got Alpine, 6th I put Aston Martin, 7th AlphaTauri, 8th Williams, Haas in 9th, Alfa Romeo in 10th. Now moving on to the last section of the video, I'm going to be predicting my 2023 drivers lineup. So the teams that I have to remain with the same driver pairing is Mercedes, Ferrari, McLaren, Aston Martin, and Alfa Romeo. I think Guan Yu Zhou is going to keep his seat. I think it's going to be the same thing as Oscar Piastri is going to. I think Theo Porsche is going to win it, but he's not going to get promoted this season. He's probably going to get promoted the following season. But yeah, I'm predicting Alfa Romeo to stick with Bottas and Guan Yu Zhou as well. Let's start with the first one. Red Bull, I think Pierre Gasly having a really good season. Sergio Perez underperforming this season. I think it's going to be a no-brainer for Red Bull to re-promote Pierre Gasly into the Red Bull seat, because if they are late to the party, he's going to end up at Mercedes. And I don't think you want Pierre Gasly at Mercedes in your Red Bull, so I think Pierre will get the upgrade to Red Bull. So for Alpine, I am going to go with Esteban Ocon, with obviously Oscar Piastri. Yeah, I think that's gonna happen, isn't it? AlphaTauri, again, I do predict, I think Yuki will lose his seat as well. Pierre getting promoted to Red Bull. That leaves 2 new seats for AlphaTauri, and I think they're going to go with Horger and Liam Lawson. Interesting times. I think Williams is going to go with the driver pairing of Alex Albon and Sergio Perez for 2023, which means I'm predicting Haas to remain the same driver pairing of K-Mag and Mick Schumacher. So end of the video, podcast style video, I'm sorry, but yeah, it's been good. I don't think I'm gonna react to these predictions end of the season, so yeah.